The federal government's failure to enforce existing immigration law has left the states with the responsibility and certainly the consequences. Now, the state of Virginia may not receive the help that it has needed to enforce laws, and as Lisa Sylvester reports, immigration and customs officials say they can't commit those resources to train officers at all of Virginia's state jails.
In Virginia Beach, a horrific accident. Authorities say Alfredo Ramos rear-ended two teenage girls stopped at a red light, killing them both. At the time, his blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit. He is an illegal alien, previously charged with drunk driving, but never reported to federal immigration officials.
They should have notified ICE, and ICE should have come down and got the guy and deported him. Instead, he was allowed to leave and drive again, and then, of course, we had the tragedy.
Virginia lawmakers are now considering a proposal that would require jail officials statewide question a suspect about legal status and start deportation proceedings. Virginia is one of 11 states where local police officers have signed up for special training to enforce federal immigration law. But there's not enough resources to go around. Immigration and Customs Enforcement told Virginia lawmakers it can't guarantee federal money or bed spaces for all the jails in the state to participate in the program. In a statement, ICE said, quote, "Each jurisdiction has its own challenges. We work individually with each law enforcement agency to figure out the best way of tackling area-specific problems," end quote. But the problem doesn't stop there.
We need more jail space for ICE. We need more judges. We need everything that this would cause. This is a series of dominoes. Each step of the way needs the resources.
Because the federal government has not been able to pass immigration reform, more states are stepping in. Last year, 18 jurisdictions requested training. This year, the number is 54 and counting. It costs $3,000 per officer to train in the federal program, but when you add the cost of extra bed space for the illegal aliens and linking computers to the federal screening system, the cost could be as much as $1 million per police department. The federal government has allocated only $5.5 million this year for the program, which is a drop in the bucket. Lou?
And just to say it out loud, straightforwardly, just as we have about what is happening with the FDA, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and the funding of ICE and the Citizenship and Immigration Services and a host of other agencies, this administration has absolutely refused to fund the enforcement of U.S. law. It is no accident. It is not simply negligence. It is a committed decision to not enforce this nation's laws.
And Lou, states are willing to step in and fill in the void, but in this case, they're finding that even here, they don't have the federal funds. Lou?
And the American people are facing a straightforward choice that's going to have to be made, I'm afraid, fairly soon. Lisa, thank you very much. Lisa Sylvester reporting from Washington. One New Jersey community is taking a different approach altogether, trying to deal with the impact of illegal immigration. The mayor of Morristown, New Jersey, wants federal training for his police department. As Bill Tucker reports, the mayor wants the state government to enforce its labor laws, which would prevent businesses from hiring illegal aliens.
Enforcing the law is not always a popular idea. A rally in Morristown, New Jersey, in support of the town's decision to ask for Immigration Enforcement Authority, known as 287G.
287G is doing the job that the federal government will not do.
Attracted open borders advocates as well as supporters.
Mass racist deportation.
Working people have no nation.
Morristown is on the waiting list for approval for 287G. It is part of Mayor Don Cresitello's broader call for current law to simply be enforced.
I would remind our elected officials at all levels, enforce the law.
He's calling on states to get involved through the enforcement of state employment laws.
They have a legal obligation to make sure that the employers are paying disability insurance, and the only way you can do that is to find out who the employee is and then drag the contractor back to their office, check their payroll, and check their books, and to see what's going on.
The commissioner of the New Jersey Department of Labor responds by saying immigration enforcement is not his mandate. The mandate is to protect all workers in the state, regardless of their legal status. But he concedes that aggressive audits of employers' books would sharply curtail the underground economy, where employees work on a cash basis, and he defends the state's record on audits. Cresitello's idea of using existing laws to crack down on illegal aliens makes sense to some.
The mayor has a very valid point, and that is if we would just enforce existing employment laws or more aggressively enforce existing employment laws, that would go a long way toward curbing the illegal immigration problem.
And in the opinion of the mayor, there would be another benefit.
He believes that aggressive employment audits would not just curb the hiring of illegal aliens, it would bolster the state's unemployment insurance fund and result in higher tax receipts for the state because we wouldn't be paying people off the books.
You know, not paying people off the books, but the point of fact, most Americans don't realize that the underground economy in this country has reached an estimated $1 trillion. $1 trillion. And the taxes on that alone would be sufficient to significantly cut into this nation's budget deficit. It's extraordinary. Mayor Cresitello, Governor Corzine won't talk to him about this plan?
He hasn't had an opportunity to present it to Corzine yet. I don't know if Corzine's going to be receptive given his statements in the past because Corzine has denounced the mayor's attempts at bringing in 287G to Morristown.
Governor Corzine, I'd like to invite him to come over and explain why he thinks it isn't important for his state Department of Labor to protect labor. Labor in this country, I love that comment by the demonstrators that, what was it, smash deportation, labor has no nation.
Working people have no nation, right?
Well, the Americans fortunately do have a nation if they can hang on to it, and they should be protecting American workers in the interest of American workers and their families. And that is, well, in my opinion, both a sorry slogan and a very sorry position for both the state of New Jersey to take and for, of course, the federal government, which refuses to enforce those protections and laws. Bill Tucker, thank you very much.